All right, folks, what we're doing today is cooking a ribeye steak. I'm going to show you how I cook my steaks. It's a very unusual way of doing it compared to most people. And what you're seeing here is, if I was going to do this, because I don't actually like making the what I eat in a day kind of videos, but if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it in style. So I decided, as a way to sort of celebrate Easter, pardon the shaky handy cam work here, I would use the king of all steaks, which is, in my mind, the tomahawk ribeye. I got this one at Sam's Club, and it was pretty affordable. Say what you want about Sam's Club, and pardon the still kind of messy exterior of my pellet grill here, but for $30, I got an almost 3-pound tomahawk ribeye. And we're going to do a method called reverse searing. Now, this steak was dry, had salt applied to it and let it sit in the refrigerator, dry brining for about 3 to 4 hours. We are putting the steak in the grill. You're probably going to see the footage go a little wild here. This, by the way, was breakfast, so what you're seeing there is the light of the morning sunrise reflecting off that fat cap on that tomahawk ribeye. Not much can be done about that, unfortunately, but we're just checking the pellet situation here. If you're not familiar with the pellet grill, that is the hopper for the grills. We're going here infrared, so you can see not a lot of pellets in there, but that's fine. This won't take more than a couple of hours to cook, and that is more than enough pellets to achieve what we're going for here, which is our goal is an internal temperature of about 110 degrees, give or take. And so what we're going to do here is honestly kind of waste our time a bit with the attempts to put in the probe, which good luck doing that with a camera in one hand. So you're getting a little shaky camera footage here. But we're going to put the probe in the meat right in that middle part of the ribeye steak. Boom, there it is. Forcefully put it in there, and then we're going to zoom out a little bit here and close the grill any moment now. It is a freshly cleaned grill, by the way. And we're going to turn the grill on to a, pardon the glare, 225 degree cooking temperature. That is my sort of default and most stereotypical cooking temperature for a pellet grill. So here we are, 40 minutes later or so. We're going to check the actual temperature, and I'm going to use an external probe. Yes, I'm using the machine's probe. It gives you a ballpark because I need to recalibrate mine, honestly. And I do also need to really give those probes a deep clean. But you notice the color temperature change here. You're getting kind of a smoky brown on there. Well, that's because of the actual smoke. And I can tell by eyesight that it's nowhere near being done. But after it was done, which took about an hour, we did a test cook on this new this new Pit Boss gas-powered griddle the night before. I did a kind of a quick wipe down, but not much, really. Always clean your surfaces, folk. Be better than I am. But it was just hamburgers, so the machine was covered all night. Should be fine. We're going to now sear the actual steak. This is a reverse sear that we're doing. I'm pulling the steak at an internal temperature of 110 degrees, give or take. We're actually going to find out here. Now notice the color change. Look at that bright red and the golden hue of that fat. This, to me, is the best way in the world to cook a steak. Restaurant steaks are very deficient by comparison. So there we are at 100. Now, my aim was 110. We pushed the probe in a little further to make sure we're actually in deep enough, and it's 106, 107 degrees. We'll call that good enough for government work. So we're going to pull that out, and we're going to throw that here on the griddle in just a moment. Again, more shaky handycam work because, I'm a one-man operation. And it was too early in the morning for my wife to do any of the filming for me. So here we are, and it took about an hour and a half to get this, to achieve this. And if I left any of the audio on, you would hear the sizzling. Again, the sun is still low in the sky in the east, and that steak is pointed towards the east right now. But you could see the sizzling of that grill. And we're going for a wonderful little crust. It doesn't take long, maybe a minute on each side. Since it was a little under 110, I think I let this go a little bit longer just to bring it up to the rare, between medium and medium rare. But again, cook it how you like. It doesn't take long. Once you've got it smoked to the temperature that you like for your steaks, this becomes pretty straightforward. But yes, this is my preferred way of cooking a tomahawk ribeye, or a ribeye in general, is to reverse sear it. In fact, actually, once I learned how to do this, to be perfectly honest with you, getting a steak from a steakhouse became kind of a chore, because most of the time I felt like I could make a better steak for a much better price. Why would you pay $30 for a steak at a restaurant, including sides that you're not going to eat anyway, not on this way of eating? Why would you do that when you can pay $30 for a gigantic steak, a steak that is quite frankly a roast? Let's be honest with ourselves. By the way, look at how the sear on that makes makes the grill pop. It actually makes the color change really pop. Again, you can see it through that glare from the sunrise. Again, can't do anything about that. There's just nothing I can do about that if I'm going to do this when I want, because if I'm going to eat a steak that big, it's going to be in the morning and then maybe not eat for the rest of the day. Although in hindsight, I will tell you that I did end up eating later in the day, because my hormonal signaling for hunger is so broken that after eating that, it didn't take long. It was a few hours before I wanted more food, and that was a 2.5-pound tomahawk ribeye. I could actually probably eat 2 of those in a day, and it would be bad, because my body would start storing body fat. It would be a horrible thing. No, I don't eat these kind of steaks on a regular basis. I am one of those who tends to think that ribeyes are actually kind of overrated. In terms of bang for your buck, you're not getting as much as you could, not with modern prices. I tend to prefer the picanha or sirloin cap, which costs about half as much per pound at Costco. Again, terrible camera work, but there's not much I can do about it. And I prefer the tri-tip, which also costs about maybe 2/3 the price of a ribeye steak. And they tend to be a little leaner, but I do better with probably less fat than a lot of you would during the day, than just because for the goals that I have for weight loss. But the steak is very red, and it's not just the light. That was brought out by the smoke. I was using a competition blend of pellets in the grill. The ones I was using, I believe, came from Kirkland or Costco. Anyway, we're here now with what the final product looks like. And I brought it into the house, put it on the requisite, you're on the carnivore diet, so eat off a cutting board, and that's what it looks like. It's very different than most steaks. You flip it over, you get those grill marks. You can see the change in the fat and the color and the appearance of it from the smoke. And this is the only way I ever want to eat steaks. And that's what it looks like when it's cut. I don't know about you, but looking at that makes me hungry. But it's about dinner time, and I've got guests, and we have a brisket to work into for ourselves tonight, so it's going to be a good night. Anyway, let me know what you thought of this in the comments, please. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It does help, as is sharing this on social media. Thanks a lot, folks.